So we're continuing on with the category of naming with care, other names we could have given to what we're doing together, this meditation we're doing together. So we've started to name them as pairs or dialectics, really. And so this morning I'm going to name it as steering meditation, which is paired with being with what is meditation. It's kind of a dynamic tension, maybe hopefully a harmony between intention and receptivity. So Sunday, in our conversation between Linda and myself, she spoke about how in reflective meditation, we allow ourselves to wander about, and when is it best to rein ourselves in? My reply was that often we need to wander too far afield to learn what too far afield is for each of us at that time. But on the other end of the continuum, sometimes we really do need to tether to a focus object, whatever comes perhaps most easily or naturally for us. But then we might discover that it feels too tight, too constrictive, no room for creative thinking. And so this is how we learn for ourselves how to best steer our meditation and, of course, our life as well. So when I was meditating on this, a metaphor of, I saw a boat in the wide open sea. And of course, I've never steered a boat in the wide open sea, but it did seem like a good metaphor. So, I guess it used to be we needed a compass, but nowadays we need a GPS. We just can't get tossed around completely. And I think this is, again, a good metaphor for what develops in reflective meditation, an internal GPS about how to best steer our meditative process. But this kind of steering is gentle or even subtle sometimes. A subtle way of directing our intention or setting an intention, choosing what to explore. And it's not about, it shouldn't feel controlling, but it might instead look like something like, oh, well, maybe I best now return to the touch points where my body touches the ground or the earth, or return to my breath, or return to whatever focus object comes with ease that works well for you. Maybe you decide to steer by staying with something that you're curious about, really setting the intention and staying with it, taking it a bit further. It could look like choosing to stay present with discomfort, steering to stay there, not to do sort of the instinctual thing to run away from that which is uncomfortable. Or the flip side, we might decide actually to steer away from discomfort when we realize that it's just too hard to bear, or it hurts too much. And of course, there's many other possibilities of when we might choose to steer. But hopefully we steer with care and flexibility, not force. And the other side of the continuum, or the dialectic, because we're talking about dialectics, is being with what is, but not as a way of giving up, but more as a way of just really actually opening to what's going on, knowing more about what's going on. Really, it's our version of being in the present moment, being with what is. And back to the steering, hopefully it's loose. This being with is tender. And together, that dialectic, that tension between steering and being with what is, can create, and hopefully has created, because you've all been around for a while, last I looked, can create a flexible meditation process. And so I think you've already picked up, it's not about picking between the two, but deciding, steering is better, or being with what is better meditation. They're both important. We need to move, and we need to rest. We need to act, and we need to allow. and we need to steer gently while being with what's here. And that's a skill we can keep developing. Hopefully that is sort of what we are, cultivating over time, hours and hours of time, being curious about how this goes, not through rules, but through lived experience, through this practice that we're doing of paying attention to what goes on in our body, mind, and perhaps noticing when it is that I'm trying to control and when is it that I'm giving up. So these pairs that Linda and I have started to talk about, we're really talking about dialectics, as I've mentioned, and how they can support each other. And maybe even more relevantly, how together they create a middle path, not by making us stay smack dab in the middle, but by exploring those dialectics and learning what is the best path or way for us in the moment, in each moment. So I'm going to end the talk there, and we're going to see how our meditation goes.